Doug Robbins, and welcome to Doug's Thoughts. I want to talk to you today about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I decided to give it a rewatch, and I probably hadn't seen that movie since it came out back in '09 at the drive-in. Uh, let's start off with some positives. Michael Myers in the film itself was brutal. Uh, was he scary? Yeah, of course. He's Michael Myers. Um, I even kind of like the idea of Dr. Loomis writing a book about his exploits or about the murders. Um, Also, kind of like that Laurie was in therapy. Um, I don't know, and just sitting there with the shrink. I don't know. Now, some of the other like silly stuff, like her reading the book and freaking out because she found out she was Angel Myers, and the kind of like Thule. I don't know. Well, like Margot Kidder, as you guys and girls may or may not know, plays the therapist in that movie, and I don't know, just when they talked like people, I don't know, just her saying, they never found the body. We know this is a trigger point. Michael Myers lives in your psyche. He lives in your subconscious. That's the reality we got to deal with. And even her crying and saying, I miss my parents so much. Real talk. Um, because it wanted to be a very dark and gritty film. Um, I don't know. The White Horse stuff, because, like I said, I'd only seen it maybe once back in '09 before my review or my rewatch of it, like literally last night. Um, and I gotta say, Michael Myers was brutal, but overall, I didn't care. Anybody that listens to Mike and Jay from We Watched the Movie knows that those two reviewed it, and I lost my train of thought, but I've had to restart this video a couple times, and I'm not doing that again. But I just know they were kind of not into the ghostly, like the White Horse stuff or any of that. Uh, I can respect seeing her ghost, Deborah Myers' ghost, just because thing was in the barn, but there was a kill. I think it was after Michael killed the douchebag in the strip club that took out the trash. Once they killed that guy, um, when Deborah Myers, like just seeing that pure white face and the black around her eyes and her eyes all wide, think of that being a ghost right after Michael's killed him. I was like, oh, it's like I audibly went, oh, because that. My two favorite genres of horror are slasher and paranormal. So I love Uh, my two favorite haunted house movies of all time are Conjuring and Conjuring 2. Uh, so the ghost element with Michael Myers, I was fine with it. Where the movie needs to get fucked and just like Rob Zombie, stop doing this to Halloween. I don't care. Your movies that you make that aren't in the Halloween franchise, you go do whatever you want with them because those are your movies, and if that's how you want to flavor and season your movie, do it. That's your prerogative. Just please quit bringing that stupid stuff into the Halloween universe. The dialogue. I worked for freelance work for an indie movie studio, and I'm not going to name drop it. But the movies they made, they were heavily influenced by horror movies of the 80s, which, I love 80s horror movies. I love 70s horror movies. I like some 90s. Uh, but with that being said, I just, it appealed to what I call the lowest common denominator, and well, for anybody that knows about the movies Terrifier, I don't know where this fucking rule has come from where you can't be likable in modern slasher movies. Like once the 2000s hit, it just seemed like, okay, now everybody's a fucking douchebag. Nobody can be likable anymore. Until, in my opinion, the Bloomhouse trilogy. But, yeah. That stupid dialogue, like, I remember watching it with my dad back in '09, and he's like, that's what kills me, man. This guy's as big as he is, and they all talk shit to him. Because, he's 6'8", 280 pound, jacked, fucking bodybuilder, former pro wrestler. And and it is a good point. But that stupid, unnecessarily Rob Zombie dialogue, like the stupid stuff between Dan Roebuck and whoever the stripper girl was. He's like, "Oh, you care about the leisure lot? Let me see there." And then the dumbass hillbillies with their hair will beat him up real good. And then the dumbass, I don't know, the guy that had to take out the trash at the strip club. He's like, two-faced bitch, blah. And just, I just sent one jack off to the hospital, blah, thinking John Wayne bullshit. Again, one or two abhorrent characters, not just damn near everybody in the fucking movie. Uh, uh, Loomis was a waste. Oh my god. I mean, he made me laugh, but the unnecessary, like, just stupid shit. Just being rude for no reason, not really being that big a help until right at the climax to go get killed in the barn. Brackett was Lee Brackett was a highlight. Brad Dorff, he he was just more likable in this movie, in my opinion, than the original remake. Uh, and I don't know, it was like after Michael had killed Annie, you could really hear the Chuck ending in his voice. And when that guy from Coach uh, officer was like, "You want me to handle it?" and the look he had, because he's an older gentleman. Oh, it kind of reminded me of, even when he screamed, like, it kind of reminded me of my dad, of like, no, I'm going to take care of it. But also, and hearing the Chucky in his voice, and it just, so it was like a mix of like my dad, but mixed with Chucky, and just thinking of, I don't know, human Chucky going to take care of Michael Myers, and then he's the one that gets the shot off. Like, boom, just shoots him. I was like, oh, that's cool as hell. And even Michael getting impaled on the spikes, and then Laurie stabbing the shit out of him. That was cool. The part, because I understand Laurie wants to let loose and just be like, fuck it, I don't want to be inhibited anymore. Fine. I mean, do your thing, but Jeezy Pete's, boy. The stripper girls with their chests out, like it, stupid dialogue, like when Angela Trimber's character Harley David and that stupid jack off she met at the party. He's like, "But you're really a chick, right?" Vulgar, unnecessary, sexed up dialogue, overly confrontational dialogue. Like, if you want to criticize Halloween Ends and say it's the weakest of the David Gordon Green trilogy, I still liked it, but of that trilogy, yes, I will 100% call it the weakest, but I still prefer Ends to 2009 because, as brutal as it is, 2009, I mean, ugh. You also don't give a shit. Um, there's a lot of murder in it. Like, I don't. It goes. I don't know. To me, Halloween movies are a lot more spaced out, and you're brought in through intrigue and care. Is Michael there? Is he not? Um, we see Lord. I don't know. It's like when you go back to the David Gordon Green trilogy, especially Halloween 2018, we cared about Laurie. Um, there's the tension between Allison and Karen. The tension between Lori and Karen. Uh, the relationship of I want my grandma back in my life. It's like, why can't you just drop this whole Michael Myers thing? There's stalking, there's intrigue. Michael's on the peripherals. He's doing all this so that even if the deaths are brutal, the humanity's there. Where we care about Hawkins, we care, all that great stuff. This was just the Halloween movies, except for three. I will hate on three for the rest of my days because no, fuck that movie. Um, you've got to make us care, and it is a blending of fun slasher movie with intrigue. And if you want that gritty, real world, violent look, like one of the best parts of Halloween 2009 was that final, not even the sequence, just hearing the original theme from the first one when Laurie's going walking across the street in the original, and then they played what kind of sounded like that. The Halloween theme, the music, like little music, uh, like that in the first one, and it didn't have nearly enough of that. And now, fucking tunes. I mean, yeah, Rob Zombie picked out some great rock and roll music, but you got to make us care, and you can't just don't just show us random perverted shit, stupid pervy dialogue, overly confrontational for no reason. You still this is still a Halloween movie, and there's still tact, there's decorum, there's still you're making art. Thanks for listening. Have yourselves a great day.